This is a call that's going to cover Galxe Passport. As you guys know, this was the most recent product update. There's been a lot of chatter today, a lot of confusion, and a lot of misunderstanding, I feel. And we just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. So that's why we're live today to talk about Galxe Passport, just to understand it better and make sure that you guys know the direction that we're taking. So I'll start now with this first question here. So it's sort of the basis of it. What do we intend to use the passport for? Is it necessary to mint Galxe Passport? And do we feel that it's against the spirit of blockchain to have KYC?
Okay, so let me take a step back and maybe explain how Galaxy Passport work overall. It feels like a very centralized experience where you upload your ID, and it feels like that we're storing your information, that we could be selling your information, but that's not true at all. See it as we are not creating a database for us to store this information, for us to sell this information. We are creating a tool for you to store your own identity. We are creating a tool for you to own your identity information. And we're actually creating this tool so that you can leverage this information however you want, right? To put it in other words, it's sort of like we are creating this bag for you, and this bag has a lock that only you has the key on it, right? You have the key on it, and we are creating a process of processing your identity information into that bag so that you can take that bag to anywhere you want and open up the bag and show your identity information to anyone, anywhere, right? But that's only upon your permission. That's only upon your discretion. So, for example, wherever you go into Web3, if you go on to Starter, if you go on to other IDO platforms, if you go on CoinList, if you go on INO platforms, these platforms might require you to do KYC. And it's very troublesome if you need to do multiple KYCs on multiple platforms. And all these verification services are very similar, right? It's not necessary for you. It's not necessary for you to do these multiple times at many different venues. So basically, we are creating this bag for you so that you don't need to do this process multiple times at all of these places, at centralized exchanges, decentralized IDO platforms, and all of these places. You can go on there and decrypt the information with your own password, and you can present your identity information to all of these third parties based on your discretion, right? So again, we are not storing any of these information ourselves in plain text. It's not possible for us to access your identity information. And we are not going to censor anyone. It's not our intention to censor anyone based on your location, based on your nationality, based on whatever identity information you have. The point for us is to have a way for you to use your information however you want, and you own your information. So hopefully this clears some of the misconception out there. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. This actually gave a kind of move into another question from a user in the chat here. So basically, with them having access to their KYC in the Galaxy Passport, can project so projects can't view their information if they don't allow them.
What do you mean projects cannot
So
use their information?
say it goes through, they use their passport through another platform. Can that platform view their information, or does the user have control whether or not the platform views their information?
The user has total control of whether other platform has this information. So the process goes like this. So say that an ideal platform integrate with Galxe Passport, right? Wherever you go on to that platform, say that you're participating to a new IDO, then that third party would prompt a, a, a website, a dialogue for you to give them access. And you can decide whatever you want to give them. They may ask you on your social handles, they may ask you on your personal informations, and they will also tell you why they're requiring of these information, right? And for ideal platform, it's sort of normal because they require this information for you to participate in all of these public token sales. So, and in that dialogue, you would need to input your password. That's only controlled by you. No one has this password except you, right? So you need to make sure that you don't lose that password at all. If you do lose that password, we cannot recover all the information that you have on Galxe Passport. So basically, on the dialogue, you need to input the password, and then the project would be able to access your information based on your permission. So you may check that they can access my name, my nationality, and all that. The point of this process is not for us to sell information, it's for you to grant them information in an easier way, right? You have to provide these information to them no matter what, but it's going to be easier since we have your information stored in a secure place, only accessed by you, so that you can provide that information to that third party based on your discretion.
Okay, so the easy way to look at this is essentially they have a place to store their information where they can simply use this on many different platforms at their own discretion. Neither
Right,
ourselves nor the platforms has access to that information unless granted by the user.
right. That's
Okay,
correct.
perfect. Just wanted to make sure that was clear there. So Timati asks the question, what happens if I lose my passport? This also dives into a question of, so a lot of users deal with hacks. If you're hacked in MetaMask and you lose your passport alongside these different things, what will happen if in that case?
Right. So if you lose your password for your Galxe Passport, then you would need to go through a process to remint your passport, right? So we don't support this yet, but it's going to be supported maybe sometimes next week. So there will be a process where you will be able to mint a new passport based on the same identity, and your old passport would be burned when you mint the new one. So that's going to be the process. So don't need to worry too much. But still, you still need to write down your password so that make sure you have it saved somewhere. But in the case that you actually lose your password, we do have a way for you to mint a new passport on Galaxy.
Okay, perfect. That answers that. So, hello, is that something like KYC? Sorry, Reza, what do you mean exactly? Can you go into a little more detail? In the meantime, I'll go into another question. So, of the options for verification, like passport and ID, are we looking into adding more options for verification, like Bright ID or BAB token, or any other options like
Yes.
humans, for example?
Yes. So I see one of the complaints that you guys have are around the cyber attack prevention use case of Galaxy Passport, right? So I do want to emphasize here again that we do not, Galaxy as a product, we do not require any of our partner or any of the feature on Galaxy to requiring users to mint Galaxy Passport. Okay, so that's not a requirement for our partner. That's not a requirement for our own product. it is going to be an option for our partner to use Galaxy Passport Holder as one of the credential for their campaign. And they can choose it just like any other credential, right? Whether you verify Twitter, whether you verify Discord, whether you trade it on Uniswap, it's treated just like any other credentials on Galaxy. So we did coordinate some campaigns with our Galaxy Passport launch partners in order to test out the feature, but going forward, we do not intend to make it as a requirement. And there might be partners coming to Galaxy and wanting to add this as one of the requirements for their campaign for SIPO type prevention reasons. And that's fine, right? That's what we want. We are creating this permissionless infrastructure. We are creating this permissionless experience. So we are providing the tools and partners can choose whatever they want to do on Galaxy. And you also mentioned about Bright ID, proof of human, and BAB. We already support BAB token as one of the credential. We are planning to support Bright ID or proof of human as credentials as well. So these are all going to be the credentials on Galaxy for all partners to choose from. So some partners may want the BAB to be one of the credentials. Some partner may want Galxe Passport to be one of the credential. It's fine. It's their choice.
Okay, great. And just to simplify one of those pieces there, just so I think Reza and stuff understands. Um, wait, oh, sorry, can you hear me? I think I'm cutting out.
I can hear you.
Oh, I think I've lost you. Sorry, one sec. Let me exit and rejoin. I think I lost you. Sorry about that, guys. Harry, can you talk?
Can you guys hear me?
Okay, okay, wait, it's working for me now. Sorry about that. The space,
Okay,
I think
okay,
the space
great.
crashed for me as well while I was talking. I had lost my train of thought. Apologies, guys. Okay, yeah. If I get it back, I'll continue. But let me jump into a new question instead. So do we have plans to release more direct and open information on the data and how it's encrypted and stored?
Yes. Yes, we're actually planning to release a doc on all the process that it's how it's stored, how it's encrypted by the end of this week. So stay tuned for that. We are in the process of figuring out more ways to see how we can prove that we are actually not storing all of these information in plain text. It's kind of hard, but we are trying to figure out ways to do that as well. So stay tuned for more information on that. Yeah, but if you actually check our front end code, right? If you check all of the front end transactions that we call, you would know that we never send your password to our database. We never store your password anywhere. So only you're the only one who have those password, and only you can decrypt the encrypted message that we stored in our database.
Okay, great. And this leads into another piece. So what is is there a guarantee in some form, or a better way to show that this information is not really shared with like Persona, for example, the third-party application? And how is the data sent between Persona and Galaxy?
So there has to be some algorithm or some party to check whether these verifications or whether these identities are like real identities, right? We have to check whether these passport are real passport, whether you are a real person matching with the one that's in the passport. And that's what Persona is doing. Persona is running an algorithm on all of the identity information that you guys submitted, and remember, Persona does not have any mapping of which identity links to which address. The only thing that they check is they run an algorithm on the data that you submit to see whether the passport is valid, whether the ID is valid, whether you matches with the person that's in the passport. Okay, so that's what Persona is doing, and then Persona tells us or tells Galaxy Passport that this is a valid identification, then we would encrypt this information and store it in the database. Okay, so none of the information will be stored in plain text. We never would access your information. None of the other third parties would be able to access this information because all of the information stored will be encrypted.
Okay, awesome. And this actually leads into another question here. Um, so in the process of choosing these aspects, and verification, everything, whole nine yards, um, why was this our decision? Why did we head down this route, like the passport, for example? What sort of led us to this point when designing this product? What's the
Well,
future goal?
so well, so on a side note, I see a lot of you mentioning about. So I guess the essence of this question is this somewhat goes against the essence of decentralization or the essence of
Yeah,
blockchain.
yeah,
And I'm not too sure if that's true, to be honest, because I do want everyone to think hard about a question, which is what what's the definition of decentralization, right? What's your definition of decentralization? Does your definition of decentralization means not having your identification information anywhere, or does it mean something else? And to me, decentralization means you have a way to own your information. You have a way to own your assets, and no one else can take away that asset. And you also have a way to use this information, to use these assets however you want, right? In Web2 worlds, all of your information are stored in like databases that's entirely controlled by all of these large corporations. You don't have any way to control your asset. You don't have any way to control your data. You don't have any way to use your data the way you want. And that's not true for Galxe Passport. We are creating a tool for you. We are basically creating a database for you that's private, that's secure, that's anonymous, and you can use your data. You can own your data. You can use it however you want. So to me, this actually is much more decentralized than many of you think, right? I think it's going to be amazing where you can actually control your data. You don't need to do all these troublesome verifications multiple times everywhere, and you can use your data however you want. And that also matches the long-term goal for Galaxy, right? Since right now we're tackling the public credential part, and going forward, we are going to tap into the private credential space as well. We want you to own your own private credential information, including behavior data, including maybe your educational data, including all of that. And we are doing everything we can to design a system that's hopefully can be transparent and entirely private so that you can own your information and you can even sell your information if you want, right? That's your choice. So we are working on that. I do agree the infrastructure is not too transparent right now. So we are figuring out ways to prove that we are not using your information anyway. But if again, if you check our front end code, your data is encrypted with your password, and we cannot access that information. And to me, this is actually more convenient and more Web3 and more decentralized for you because in the first time in history, you can actually control this information and bring it anywhere you want. And it's going to be hopefully the essential infrastructure for everyone of you out there because all Web3 applications can leverage this infrastructure so that it's more convenient for you, and it also makes everyone else productivity into a whole new level in the future as well.
Okay, great. I hope that clears things up for a lot of you guys. Um, Make sure you guys, if you have more questions in the chat, please throw them in there. And also, I saw someone was having some sound troubles. If you are having trouble with the space, leave and rejoin. Discord's a bit buggy today, so I know a lot of people are having trouble. Um, okay, I think that we have covered most things regarding the passport. And so let's maybe take it to the maybe give a few sentences of a simple explanation of what this is for. Um, so Galaxy Passport will be used for this, and we don't use it for this, etc., kind of thing, just to simplify it for the users.
Yeah, so Galxe Passport is basically, you can view it as your own database, your own secure and private database for you to store your own identity information. No one can access information. No one can sell your information, not Galaxy, not Persona, not anyone can access this information. Only you can access information and grant access to some other third parties when they request this information from you, right? So they will request this information, and once you input your passwords, your information will be decrypted. So basically, you're taking your identity out from the bag that we created for you, and you're showing that to some other parties, right? So that's only upon your discretion.
Just like a
So yeah,
passport.
so yeah, just like a passport. So what we created is simply a bag, a private bag that's locked by you. We don't intend to monetize it in any way. What we intend is to give back your information to your control. And to me, that's very decentralized, that's very Web3, and that's everything that we want to build for in the long term as well. So I do want all of you to maybe take a look at the product, and we will also release more information on the technique on the technical side around how we encrypt your information, how we process your data, and hopefully we can educate everyone in the community, all the users about this feature. And yeah, I'm actually very excited about all of us, the users, and all of our partners in Web3, and maybe also partners in Web2, right? To leverage this infrastructure so that we can create a whole new experience for everyone.
Of course, and a good way to look at it, guys. Once we have all of this information more out in public and we're more open with these processes, we're going to be doing our best to share this information of how this works with you in a more clear and concise way. But yeah, the information is owned by yourself. We didn't come this far to steal and sell information, right? It wouldn't make any sense. It's not what we believe in. It's not what we want to believe in. It's not where we're going. So yeah, I understand that when you see something like KYC or you see something like where I'm going to put my information here, it can be a scary thought, right? But at this point, just know that we're always here to chat with you openly, help to understand, and always move forward together, right? This is something that's optional, and it will not change the structure that we have so far. Upcoming campaigns, etc., will not be a forced product. It will never be forced upon you. It's always your choice at the end of the day. So I very much appreciate those that came to listen today. And I have recorded this as well, so I will continue to throw this on the YouTube channel. We'll also upload some clips, and we can talk about this some more in the chats as well. Um, at this point, we have answered all of the questions that we did have before. Um,
Yeah, maybe let me answer one more
I see
question
the
from
one
the
in the
chat
chat,
that I
right?
just saw.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
one I was going to throw in
the
there from Hossein.
whole yeah, hosting.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
so you're asking about you're giving us the password to encrypt and decrypt, right? So what I can say is we can probably consider to open source the front end code for Galaxy Passport site. And how it works is we never takes your password into our database. We never store your password anywhere. Your information is encrypted with your password on your front end and decrypted on your front end as well. So your password stayed with you the whole time, right? That's why we cannot recover the password for you. All of these Web2 applications. So it's very similar to your private key. We don't take your private key. We don't ask for your private key. Your private key stays with you. Your private key stays in your browser extensions. So yeah, it's encrypted and decrypted in your front end, and we store the encrypted message. And then when you want to decrypt it to send it to some other third parties upon your permission, then we would send the encrypted version of the message to you, and then you decrypt it on your browser using your own password when you input the password, and then you have the decrypted version, right? So that's how we never have the access to your own identity information. But again, you can check the front end code and all the transaction costs to see that's true right now. And we will try to release more information and see if we can open source of the front end code to make it more transparent. That's something that we're working on right now. The only concern about releasing too much information is actually around security, right? So we don't want anyone to have any small chance to take advantage of the information that we release and hack into someone's personal information, because we all know that all of these password encrypted version of the identity information is not it's not ideal to be released to the public. Okay, I can just say that. But we are figuring out ways to do that in a very secure way. So once we do release more information, we'll make sure that this information will be safe, and you will be safe. Your identity information will be safe as well.
Okay, awesome. Jose, and I hope that answers your question. One final thing, guys, I know that a lot of people are having verification issues right now. Um, you guys, we are looking into obviously any and all problems that arise. The dev team is on it. But one more thing, when it comes to your photos, you guys really need to be very particular in the fact of glare, facing, all the whole 9 yards, right? Make sure your image is very well viewed, no glare, no nothing, no light. So really triple check this. And give it another try. But at the same time, if there is a mass verification issue for sort of one area or one issue, we are monitoring it and we will let you guys know as things come along, okay? Okay, awesome. Yeah, also we do know about the thing with Nigeria as well. A lot of Nigerian users have had problems with their national ID card, etc. So, but yeah, don't worry guys. We will update you on anything as it comes along. So, I appreciate you guys joining today. And I think that we can close out here. And then I will actually post this recording tomorrow for you guys to listen back to if you'd like.
Okay, great. Yeah, and we will also release more information probably by the end of this week. And in the meantime, we will also work on these verification issues so that hopefully we can all of use to sort out the verification process. But I think most countries should work fine right now. We fixed a couple things this morning, so yeah.
Yeah. And just so you guys know, we have increased the free mint to 100K. We kind of blasted through 10K and just felt, it's necessary just to give more easy access to this. So make sure you guys go check it out, and completely optional. If it's something you're interested in, please go for it. If it's something you're not interested in, that's totally okay. But one thing that we did have today in the chats was users shaming other users for being a part of the passport. Remember, guys, decentralization and Web3, it's about having your own choice, right? So just remember that at the end of the day, it's all our own choice what we do here. So appreciate you guys joining. Thank you for coming on, and we will talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye bye.